When I'm out fishing, paddling in my canoe, I'm safety oriented. You'll always find me with my PFD on. I usually carry a first aid kit with me in the canoe. On this last trip though, after taking so many fish off a hook, it finally happened. And I had a small northern slip out of this hand, and in the process, sunk a treble hook deep into the back of my hand. I mean deep, not just owie owie, deep, deep. This treble hook was sunk so deep in that the flesh was bearing up around the back of the treble hook. Thankfully, the northern fell right off, because I sure wouldn't have wanted to be attached to that northern while it was hooked into my hand. But I was able to take my Gerber here and cut that split ring and get it off. This hook was buried so deeply in here that I couldn't find the other point. I know there's ways to get these things out with a loop where you pull on it really hard, but I wasn't really sure of that technique, and I knew what was going to happen if I tried, because I pulled back on it with my pliers and it was like the Rock of Gibraltar. So I knew for me the only way to get this was to push it forward and push that point out. It was time to man up and push harder, so I did, and I pushed, and the whole thing snapped off. Well, that night we just went back to the campsite, and then the next day when I got cell service, I talked to my normal physician, and he wanted to take a look at it. He declined, and we went to a walk-in clinic, and they had it all numbed up and were ready to dig around for it. But I could just tell this hook was so deep, and my experience as a veterinarian told me it was going to be hard to find. I made an appointment with a surgeon, and it was a week later. He did the same thing, numbed it up and went in, and when he opened it up, and that's kind of a freaky experience, he couldn't find it either. We had to go down to the OR and get out a fluoroscope, and here's some pictures to show you what that kind of looks like. He's marking it with both a needle and a mosquito forceps. Eventually he was able to locate it, dig it, and remove it. And this little baby right here got to ride in my hand for about 8 days. The mistake that I made, and it's probably the whole reason for this video, is to say that if this were to happen again, what I would do is once I got my hook isolated and I was able just to maneuver the canoe and get to a safe spot, I should have enlisted the help of another person. I wish I had slowed down just a little bit. I wish I had not been so in the moment that I wanted to get that hook out right away. There was a little bit of numbness, and I didn't want to lose that advantage when I was trying to push that hook through. I could have had my wife take a forceps or her fingers and push down on that skin, because if you keep trying to push against the skin as it tenses up, it hurts, and in my case the hook broke. Kind of makes you wonder if maybe on some of these bigger lures that we should just press the barbs down right away anyway. Hopefully this is just raise all of our awareness that things happen. People fall out of boats, people get fish hooks stuck in them, people get burnt. Just in your own way, be prepared. And of all things, wear your life jacket. I'm sure that many of you have had similar experiences, so if you'd like to share those stories or some tips on how to get hooks out, I'd love to hear your comments.